What is up, y'all? It is my June anti-haul, which I cannot believe that we're already in June, which means we are halfway through the year, pretty much. Actually, we're like at the end of June right now, kind of. Well, kind of at the end. I am like shook at how fast this year is going by, and I really do feel like, oh my gosh, I gotta get my life together. Y'all, okay, so before we jump into the anti-haul, let me just rant for a little bit. I'm gonna be making this announcement like in several videos to come, only because yes, I do see your guys' comments asking for makeup content, and obviously I want to, give you guys what you want, and also on top of that too, I genuinely love reviewing makeup. But as you guys know, I've said it numerous amounts of times, I just don't have the drive to do it here on YouTube specifically because I'm like, damn, I gotta like buy these new products and then I don't really make any money from it because obviously here on YouTube, it's just like the views are just not there. Do you know what I mean? Commentary is way more easy, obviously, because it's not costing me any money to like sit down and record and chit chat. Obviously, it will cost me money if I'm going to be purchasing product to review it. So I know you guys don't like this, but I'm going to be doing reviews on TikTok. I just feel like that's going to be a little bit more beneficial for me. I feel like the audience will grow a little bit more on there. And I would have liked to have done like a long form version of a review and then a short form version of a review, but that's like really hard. I tried doing it before and I tried doing it with the hourglass powder and I was like, this is just all over the damn place. To get like a 12 to like 15-minute video down to 1 minute is just choppy, doesn't really make sense, and it's a little bit all over the place. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like it'll just be more beneficial for me if I can just do makeup content on TikTok, and I'm gonna try my hardest to do that. I'm gonna try to do 2 makeup videos per week, starting the week of like June, like the last week of June, only because I have a little bit too much going on in my life right now. So I'll go ahead and leave my TikTok link down below so that way you guys can go subscribe over there or follow over there, whatever the hell it's called. I know you guys have said before, a lot of you guys have said you don't want to get on TikTok, and I totally do understand, but I just feel like that's where everyone's at these days. It now has more users than YouTube, so I really do have to start applying myself, get out of my comfort zone, get out of my box. I'm so comfortable with you guys here on YouTube because I know my demographic, I know my crowd. Like, we obviously have like a relationship here on YouTube, and I'm gonna be real with you guys, that relationship has kind of like held me back from growing because I'm scared, y'all. Just keeping it real. I feel like, this day and age with everyone being so damn sensitive and everything, that I've low-key been scared to grow on TikTok because I'm like, TikTok videos can go viral way more easy, and then as soon as that brings in a crowd, like I want to fight people. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like here is my comfort blanket because I know y'all and we obviously have a rapport. So I've kind of held back from doing TikTok, and I'm like, no, like if you really want to do social media, you really need to start, working on all social media platforms, except for Instagram. Like, y'all, I post on my stories there, and that's pretty much it. Like my drunk stories, and then I delete them because Instagram is just like, they don't pay over there. So like, why am I going to put any effort in it? Do you know what I mean? Speaking of Instagram stories, y'all, I have been meaning to tell you guys this because this has been like 3 weeks now that I've had this, and I haven't shared it with you guys. We will get to the anti-haul in a little bit, okay? YSL sent me colognes. Like, first of all, I'm on no brand's PR list anymore, and YSL sent me 2 bottles of cologne. If y'all have been watching me for a hot minute, you guys know YSL, Y by YSL, sorry, is literally like my #1 favorite fragrance. I absolutely adore this fragrance. I've been using it, I want to say, for maybe about, I want to say 6 years. It's been a long time. And I actually started off with the alcohol-based one. That one still smells really good. It is a little bit cheaper, but I highly do recommend the Eau de Parfum, the one that has oil base to it, because it lasts way longer. By the way, this is not sponsored whatsoever. They literally just sent it as a gift, and I just want to shout them out because, y'all, I got YSL cologne from YSL. Like, I'm sorry, that just shook me. And then they also sent me their brand new cologne called Myself. Oh my gosh, this is becoming like my new favorite right here, y'all. I don't know if maybe because I've been wearing Y so much, you know what I mean? This is a nice, refreshing change. I love this one right here. I consider this to be a little bit more of like a nighttime version of the Y by YSL. I mixed them together though. Oh my god, I went out on Saturday and I mixed them together, and y'all, it was just, I was like, oh, that's my new combo right there. I do 1 spray of the Myself, 1 spray of the Y, mix it together, and damn, it smells so good. So shout out to YSL. No, once again, not sponsored. I just want to shout them out because they gave me a gift. Like, that is so cool. Anyways, let me shut up. Let's get into the anti-haul. Starting this anti-haul off, let's go ahead and talk about the skin stuff. I don't know why. I just almost feel like with Kim Kardashian's success in Skims, she probably should have just gave up on the makeup. I really do. I know there's a lot of people out there that loved her concealer. They loved her lip products. But I just feel like now we just have all of this, and she's coming out with things that she already had before with KKW Beauty and it being called Skin now. To me, everything is just so like mediocre. I do love the vibe, obviously, of having so many different nude shades of glosses, but it's just a bit much. And it's kind of like, come on, let's go ahead and keep it real now. Every brand has a nude gloss. Do you know what I mean? I know aesthetically wise, a lot of people get drawn in when they see a collection like this. They're like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful, because you see the lightest shade of nude to the deepest shade of nude for a lip gloss or a lip liner or for a lipstick. And it just looks aesthetically pleasing. Like, I can look at this and say, this does look beautiful. But do I have all the nude glosses I'll ever need? Yes, absolutely. You can go to CoverGirl and get them for $4.99, and I just don't see the hype in this, and especially these being $25. And then she is coming out with $35 highlighters, and this is like a hybrid gel powder. I'm going to be real with you guys. I am curious to know the feel of these. As you guys know, I just am not a big fan of highlighters anymore as soon as I started getting a little bit older, which is so crazy though, by the way, because if you guys were to ever go back to my old content, you'd be like, damn, this bitch wore a lot of highlight. And now that I obviously have, you know, a little bit of like agingness going on, I don't want to emphasize that. So anytime that I want like a glowy type of look, I just spray it on a decent amount, like a healthy portion of a setting spray, and it gives me that dewy, wet look, and that's what I like. And it doesn't emphasize my texture. If anything, it actually kind of like diminishes it. Do you know what I mean? But any powder that has some type of sparkle or shimmer to it is going to emphasize the texture, and I don't like that. So both of these are on my anti-haul list. I just feel like, you know, I am curious to know about the hybrid gel of that powder highlight, only because I'm like, okay, does it feel like a putty? Do you know what I mean? Is it gonna, like, I was gonna say, did I say taste right now? Is it gonna feel? In my head, did I say taste or feel? I have no idea, y'all. That just really threw me off, because I was like, did I just say taste? Because I was gonna say about it, I was like, is it gonna taste like ColourPop's? I'm like, what the hell's wrong with my brain? Is it gonna feel like ColourPop's putty highlighters? You know what I mean? That's what I'm kind of getting the impression of. But overall, I feel like her brand so far is just like lackluster, especially for the price point. Like, these components are just so mediocre, so that's just a no for me. Next up on the list, you guys know I love Tatcha. I feel like they have some really good skincare products, but one, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys, this day and age, I am just a little bit too broke for Tatcha, so I can't even afford to like refill my Tatcha products, so I'm staying away from them. But even if I had all the money in the bank, I would not be purchasing these lip products right here. They're coming out with a lip scrub as well as a lip treatment, but in a tube. I've told you guys before, I just feel personally that lip treatments are kind of like a gimmick. Like, I know a lot of you guys disagree with me on this. I read the comments, and I know that every single time I talk about a lip treatment or a lip overnight treatment, I'm like, no, like Vaseline literally works just as good, if not better, than a lip treatment, and it costs like $1. So this is where I just get a little frustrated with things like this, because y'all, the lip treatment is $40 and this lip scrub is $28. And by the way, you can literally make your own at-home lip scrub with some sugar and a little bit of water and just boop, 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 put it on. You know what I mean? I'm so sorry, but things like this, I'm telling you, like, legitimately, if I had $1 billion in the bank, you will not catch me, and you can call me cheap, whatever. I am not going to spend $40 on a lip treatment. I'm not, or $28 on a lip scrub. I just think that that's so ridiculous, especially because there's just so many other products out there that are affordable and work just the same. So I don't get the hype around this, but I do think that Tatcha is a really great skincare brand. Next up on the list, okay, y'all, I had so many products to put on this anti-haul list, and I did cut it short because I started realizing it is blush central out there now. Every single brand is coming out with an oversaturation of blushes. Every time I look on Trendmood, every time I look on TikTok, every time that I'm looking for any other type of brand, it's all about blushes. And I feel like blushes are now the new eyeshadow palettes, only because they've realized, damn, we can't do any more eyeshadow palettes. We've come out with every single color story. People are obviously over it. So now everyone's coming out with so many different types of like cream blushes, liquid blushes, gel blushes, serum blushes, powder blushes, baked blushes. Like, it is just way too much with the blushes, and I feel like that's just probably like every brand's new thing to do now, because they're like, okay, what else do we do to get people to buy products? And I'm kind of over it, y'all. Charlotte Tilbury is coming out with, I don't even know if these are out yet. These are called the Beautiful Skin Lip and Cheek Glows, and yeah, it's a lip blush tint for weightless buildable color. I'm sorry, it's just a no for me. You guys know, first of all, when it comes down to it, I really do love a powder blush. You know what, specifically, I really do like a baked blush. Like, y'all, when I worked at MAC, the mineralized skin finish blushes were my absolute favorite. They add a beautiful sheen to the skin, and I really do like them. I would like to say that I do like a cream blush on other people. Like, yo, I've said this so many times before. When I used to freelance, I would love using cream blushes on my clients. I just can't use it on myself because of my like busted old capillaries right here that nothing sticks to it. So say for example, if I have on my concealer, if I have on my foundation, like if I put a cream on top of it, like a cream blush, it's gonna get a little bit patchy and then look really weird, so I don't like it. I have to set my full face and then like put on a powder blush in order for, you know, to look decent. But any which ways, y'all, speaking of blushes, we have ABH's new blurring serum blush. Also, I have seen quite a few TikToks about these, and I feel that people, okay, obviously everyone's going to have their preferences when it comes down to pigmentation. I think that things, say for example like a blush, should not be overly pigmented, especially when you're trying to sell to everybody. Do you know what I mean? If you're a new makeup user, a blush like this is gonna be just way too much. Like I have seen multiple people's review and just a tiny little dot and it's like bam, so much pigment, and so many people are like, oh my god, it's so pigmented. And it's like, yeah, okay, cool, you're getting a bang for your buck, obviously, because there's pigment within the product. You don't want a dull product, but also at the same time too much pigment is too bad also, especially for a blush. You don't want to look like a clown. And everything that I've seen of these, the texture, the finish, it looks beautiful. It looks really, really beautiful, but I just feel like the pigment, from what I've seen so far, and I've probably only seen about 5 reviews of these, and it just seems like a little bit much. Do you know what I mean? In my personal opinion. But I am curious to know what these actually feel like. I feel like when I go to name these, I will feel them, being that they are labeled as a serum blush. So I wonder if that would actually like adapt better on my skin, giving my skincare, or my skin condition, being that blush doesn't really like stick to this part of my cheek. Do you know what I mean? So I'm curious to know, but then also at the same time too, I'm like, whoa, like too much pigment sometimes is not good, especially in a blush. Like let your eyeshadows be really pigmented, not a damn blush, you know? Anyways, next up on the list, let's go ahead and talk about Polite Society, which, by the way, if you guys did not know, is owned by the old Too Faced owners, Jared Blandino and his husband. And this Polite Society More Pretty Face foundation or whatever went viral on TikTok. And y'all, that foundation looked really nice. But I have to say, I think it's kind of crazy that they ended up coming out with their own brand. If you guys don't recall, I want to say Estee Lauder purchased Too Faced for like $1.1 billion. They had been in the makeup game for so long, and I get it that they probably got bored and they're like, damn, we want to express our creativity. We want to have a brand. So they came out with Polite Society. So far, though, I'm just kind of like, okay, they're coming out with this eyeshadow palette right here, and I'm just like, this looks like 500,000 eyeshadow palettes that Too Faced has come out with before. So the fact that they're coming out with another brand, and then you're coming out with something that looks like a Too Faced palette, like I just don't, like, I get it, obviously. You don't want to just take this amount of money from, Estee Lauder and be like, okay, I'm done. Like, all I can do now is just travel the world. Like, people obviously get bored. And I've always said, like, if I won the lottery, I would still do YouTube because I genuinely love doing it. Do you know what I mean? And if I had a makeup brand and I won $2 billion, I probably still would carry out my makeup brand because, there's just things in life that you like doing and, like, hobbies, and you want to pass time. So I get all these things, but with a brand like them, and considering that they have the sources, y'all. Like, they literally made over $1 billion from their brand, like a cash payout. So I'm just kind of like, why do you come out with things like this? This eyeshadow palette is just so not it. So that is a product I will 100% not purchase because damn, that eyeshadow palette looks so dull and so plain and so boring. It looks like everything else that Too Faced have come out with, and it's like clearly it all came from Jared Blandino. Also, I do want to throw in here that I'm most likely will not purchase this new powder because it does seem to be very, very mattifying. It has oil and shine control. It says that it's long wearing, prolongs the wear of makeup. It just seems overall to be a very matte powder, and as you guys know, the Hourglass Veil powder is my number one favorite. Like, I absolutely love that. Okay, this next product I feel like I'm gonna get heat for because apparently this is like the talk of the town and everyone on TikTok loves this, and I'm just like, absolutely not. Every single brand is now coming out with bronzer drops. So Milani is now coming out with their liquid bronzing drops, and basically what people do is you can add it to the perimeters of your face, you can mix it in with your foundation, you can mix it in with your moisturizer just to give a glow. I have a hot take on these. I think that every single person that I have seen a bronzing drop on, it looks absolutely horrible. It looks patchy. It looks separated. It just looks like, I don't know, it just makes your whole face look splotchy, and I do not like it. I just don't get it too on top of that, because I'm like, if you want to have a glow around your face, like use a cream bronzer, use a powder bronzer. Like these things to me, use a liquid bronzer. Like these to me specifically, I don't know if it's just the formula, but they tend to look super patchy and separated, and I don't like it. I specifically don't like it when people mix it in with their moisturizer. Like I've seen so many people do the Drunk Elephant version, where they take Drunk Elephant moisturizer with the Drunk Elephant drops and then mix it and then put it on. I'm like, that does not look flattering, like at all. It just looks, I don't know. I'm so sorry. Like I just don't like it at all. I think that if people are trying to get that like sun-kissed glow, like why don't you just get a deeper version of an SPF? Do you know what I mean? And like put a bronzer on, call it a day. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't think I would ever try these Milani bronzing drops, because I don't know. I see people looking way too blotchy in my personal opinion. Next up on the list, we have more blushes over here. We have the new Pocket Blush from Rhode. First of all, I would like to know what the hell is Rhode thinking coming out with like a chode looking like container here. I'm not understanding why these containers are so short and fat. Like I'm just not getting it. Do you know what I mean? If you guys see how how thin the actual blush is, why is the whole component so fat? Like I don't know, is it just for like ease of use? That doesn't even make sense. I don't know. I just looked at this and I was like, why is it so damn fat? But any which ways, look, a lot of people do love these on TikTok. I will say that. But once again, it is a cream blush, and you guys know how I feel about that. And on top of that too, I'm just not understanding this packaging, because I'm like, why does it need to be in that fat container? I'm not getting it whatsoever. We have 2 more items up on the list, y'all. Okay. This next one right here from Ortega Beauty, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think that Ortega Beauty is a new brand, and it is by the makeup artist of Lana Del Rey. I am pretty sure I'm right, but I could be wrong because I didn't fact check myself before filming this. He came out with his own brand, which by the way, I think that he's an amazing makeup artist, and then he is coming out with these balmy highlighters. Looking at these will get you. Like honestly, like these look so aesthetically pleasing in the component. They look absolutely beautiful. Like honestly, I am pretty sure on like younger skin, this probably looks really good. If you guys have any type of like crepiness or any type of texture, like a balm type of highlighter, it's so tricky, because a balm type of highlighter, if it's made really, really good to not settle into fine lines and wrinkles, it's great. It's going to look like wet skin, and it's going to look like very reflective without obviously looking too shimmery and shiny. Do you know what I mean? But if a balmy highlighter is made bad, y'all, it could emphasize your texture in the worst way possible, because it can heat up on the skin. Not only will that balmy texture sit into your fine lines, but then you have the shimmer settling into your fine lines too, which just double accentuates your texture. So these I'm putting on my anti-haul list, but these are a product that I genuinely would like to try, because it's a very fine line. I've tried balmy highlighters before that I've really liked, and I'm like, oh wow, this does look very reflective, but it doesn't like settle in fine lines. And then I've tried balmy ones before to where I'm like, whoa, this is settling in all my fine lines and wrinkles, and it's like melting my foundation into my wrinkles, and I just don't like that. So I'm going to put this on the anti-haul list only because I'm like, am I going to go out there and purchase these and give it a shot? Probably not. But it is a product that I genuinely would like to try, because damn, these look so beautiful, especially that pink one in the bottom right. Well, actually both of the pink ones, the top right and the bottom right. Oh my gosh, they look really nice. If you guys do end up purchasing these, please let me know how you like them, because these colors look absolutely amazing. I don't have it in the budget right now to just go out there and like try something new. You know what I mean? I need to stack my money up, y'all, because I really do want to get back into makeup reviews. Like, it's like, I don't know, I have an itch for it, but then there's that side of me of like, bitch, don't waste your money, because you're not going to make your money back from it. Do you know what I mean? But damn, I look at products like this and I was like, oh, I would love to do a review of this. Any which ways, let's go ahead and move on to the very last product right here. As I told you guys before, I was thinking about this month of making kind of like a Pride anti-haul. And I was just like, let me not. People are going to be like, oh my God, you have internalized homophobia. Like, people will just look at the title of a video and then just run with an assumption. But I'm going to keep it real with you guys. The reason why I just can't stand Pride makeup is, one, I don't like a rainbow palette. I do think a rainbow palette is necessary if you guys are a freelance makeup artist. Or, say, for example, if you guys want to have like every single color to just have everything within one palette. I get the whole purpose of a rainbow palette. But how many rainbow palettes are out there, y'all? Every single Pride month now, they have done a, rainbow palette. So one, that's the reason why I don't like Pride makeup collections. Two, I personally feel like it's just very consumerism based. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone's just trying to get a dollar from the gay community, and I'm just like, girl, this seems so performative. You're trying to come out with these Pride collections during Pride Month, and it's just like, oh, you're gonna donate a 10% to this or that, but then you're making millions. So I don't know. I just don't like it. But MAC obviously is on my anti-haul list, but I have to say MAC has always been, throughout all the years, very LGBT friendly. I've worked for the brand for many, many years. Obviously, they're Viva Glam. If you guys did not know, it's where they donate all the full money to that, the proceeds, to go to HIV research as well as prevention. Do you know what I mean? So I will say this, MAC, I don't feel like they're being performative, but this palette specifically I'm putting on my anti-haul list because I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I feel like the outside's cute, whatever, you know, it's very inclusive, but the inside, I'm like, I don't like it. I just look at this palette right here and I get it that it's in the shape of a rainbow, and I'm just like, no, I don't like it. Point blank period. That's it. It's $150 for 40 new and best-selling bring back MAC shades. I think that's cool within itself, and I do think that it's kind of crazy that for 40 shades from MAC for $150, y'all, when I worked at MAC, well, this was a while ago, each individual eyeshadow was $16. So obviously this is a really good savings right here. But overall, I obviously have every color that I would need from this. But overall, if I didn't have any eyeshadow palettes, I look at this and I'm just not inspired by it. It's just not it for me, in my personal opinion. Anyways, that is it for my June makeup anti-haul. Make sure you guys let me know what you plan on purchasing. Let me know if you guys plan on purchasing the Ortega highlighters. I feel like that's the one that I'm kind of like, maybe I should have put that in my new makeup drops or they bops, because damn, like looking at those in the pan, I'm like, whoa, it is so beautiful. So if you guys end up picking those up, please let me know how you like them. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, Girl Scout.